Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the Awesome Open 2022. You're here on the back nine round one from Jordan Creek. This tournament is run by BS Upshot, and our coverage is also sponsored by BS Upshot, as well as our Patreon family. If you're interested in being a Patreon supporter, you can do so for as little as $2. I'm Dave Oster here with Devin Frederick, and we're going to bring you the back nine holes here at Jordan Creek, like I mentioned. And we're going to get started right here on hole 10. Devin, bring us in.
Hole 10 is another par 4, 489 feet. There's kind of two ways you can go about this hole. You can lay up to the bottom of this hill, or you can try and go for it and get up this hill a little bit. I prefer laying up, having the flat footing. It's a very rocky, steep incline, so if you're throwing from the incline, it's a little bit tough. This pin has recently been moved back about 30 feet. It used to sit on the cliff wall at the top there, and it just kind of eroded away and was getting a little sketchy to play to that.
Yeah, it certainly looks like a difficult hole. Second shot looks like the second shot being the harder of the two holes. So first two players doing exactly what you said you do is just kind of get to the bottom, set yourself up with flatter footing. And it looks like a difficult tunnel shot for that second shot.
Yeah, I like to be kind of right up onto that hill, so I'm as close to it as I can be, and as centered up on the fairway as I can be too, because I don't want to have to be shaping something going up the hill.
All right, that makes sense. And Brad looks like he took it a little wide, but looks like he's skipping back again. That might have been that Toro we were talking about.
It definitely was that Toro.
Yeah. And very uphill, probably even more so than it looks like on camera. And Curtis bringing it a little wide, but fighting through, and he is up, maybe circle's edge a little bit further outside, and still a little bit of elevation with where the pin is.
A little bit wide out of Blake. That is the one little bush on this hole that kind of bothers me. I think we should get that one removed.
Yeah, end of the summer, definitely one of the harder parts of the year with growth. Even with how dry it's been, there's certainly no lack of foliage on the edges of the fairways.
And there you can see Bradley was just a little pinched off. He was a little right of the fairway, having to try and throw an Annie up the hill in early release.
Very fortunate kick to come back out, though, and he takes advantage of it. He's still up there and looks like he's definitely going to save his par.
It's a good little up and down out of Blake. Another great putt out of Curtis, too. His putter is on fire right now, other than that one little hiccup on hole 8.
Got it, and he's pumped. You could see a lot of energy out of Curtis. We love it. And yourself, almost the same length putt.
Yeah, that one felt good. I've only played this hole a few times since it's moved back a little bit, and I believe that's the first time I've gotten the birdie since it's moved back.
Oh, time for it. So 2 birdies and 2 pars on this par 4, playing as the second hardest hole. As we move over to hole 11. Devin, what do we got?
This is a fun hole. Nice little downhiller, not quite as steep as what we just threw up, but you're just trying to get all the way down here, and the hole finishes to your left a little bit. And a quick little shout out to Ryan Brown, who got the ace on this hole.
100+ foot hole. That's definitely one to keep in the record books for yourself. And bit downhill, but the shot obviously has to finish at the right time. Curtis gets just through those trees, and he'll be probably on the green, almost in circle 1.
I'm going with a T-bird, just trying to get it down there as far as it'll about go and just tail off. And I came up a little short as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, similar line. You guys are both kind of getting into the woods early. Blake fading out. Oh, kicks back out. That looked like it was dead in the trees, and seemingly a couple seconds later, pops back out. Very fortunate.
Yeah, that can be Bogeyville if you get caught up off into the right into the woods. And that is a phenomenal shot out of Be Good.
And all the way through those trees, skipping up. That's what you want to do.
And Blake's had a bunch of these long jump putts so far this round. I think he's wanting to get a little closer and, get some better bids at these.
Oh, and another one right off the cage for you.
Very uncharacteristic.
Another little hiccup for Curtis. Otherwise,
Just didn't look like he had the commitment on that putt. Looked like
right.
a little nonchalant there.
A little fortunate for the rest of you, because otherwise this would be a bit of a runaway at this point.
Yeah,
Already
he
with a
makes those
two-stroke
two
lead.
easy putts, and you'd be smoking away from the field.
Still with a two-stroke lead regardless, as we move over to hole 12, par 3, 294 feet. Kind of a shorter version of the previous hole, but a little bit of a rolling hill in your way, up and then back down. Still trying to get into the woods at the right time on the left side, missing a couple little trees, and the basket's tucked right behind this bigger tree. And again, thank you to Disconsanity for sponsoring our drone coverage for this round of the tournament.
This is another one of those holes that feels like a must get. It's under 300 feet for a right-handed player. It's just your mid-range Hyzer shot. So really feels like a must get.
It looks like Bradley did it again twice in a row. Probably less than 10 or 12 feet for him.
A little early for Curtis. Catches a tree and keeps him short, too. And I knew it right out of my hand.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that one, just like Curtis's putt on the last hole, just had no commitment.
Pretty wide by Blake again, but able to get through, but just probably too much Hyzer, too much height. Again, he's going to be short with
We'll have a look,
Curtis
though.
and yourself. Yeah. And short enough that even with not ideal shot, you're just going to have a long look.
Surprised to not see him go for a little more aggressive bid.
Just a bit low.
Blake making good on his.
So Blake now tied with yourself for second place at this point. Couple strokes behind Curtis.
Yeah, this has been a fun little battle with all these guys this round.
And I believe for most of the round up to this point, it is the four of you in the top four spots. A couple of the people pushing, but at this point, I believe it is the four of you. Actually, I forgot that now Bradley also with a birdie will have a three-way tie for second place. Let's move over to hole 13.
Another downhiller, 438. This is one you really want to keep it in the middle. If you drift to one side or the other, it gets tough to get up and down to save your par. There is a creek along of this basket too, which doesn't come into play very often.
Beautiful looking hole. If you ever walk into something that looks like this in the middle of the woods, obviously people who are involved in disc golf would just be like, this looks like a disc golf hole. Beautiful hole.
Yeah, this is probably one of the signature holes of the course, I'd say. It's one of the originals. There's always been a hole going down this pipeline here.
And seems easy, wide open enough, for a woods course, but the downhill and the distance certainly adds to the difficulty. Bradley went a little bit long and left. Blake's a little bit short and left. Obviously, the backhand's going to finish that way. but also you don't want to turn it over. Otherwise, like you said, you're going to be in the rough on the right side, and it'll be
And
tough
yeah,
to even get up and down.
often there's a slight headwind coming up this hole too. So to keep a disc dead straight for 400 plus feet with some wind is definitely a task.
Yeah.
And then once again, I just didn't fully commit to the shot and kind of fluffed it a little bit.
Nice second shot recovery. Save the par here. And no one else is really too close, so most likely not losing a stroke to too many of the people in this card. I think Bradley's probably got a chance. Curtis almost stringing up some long.
Just a couple inches too low.
A little bit of a knowing roll away, but he should be all right with that.
Bradley
with the
looks to
best
be
shot.
Right around circle's edge. Just left it a little light, catching the left side chains. So it should be routine tap ins here. All of us just walking away with a par.
Yep, not too bad. Everybody in the lead gets the same score, so no harm, no foul. As we move over to hole 14, par 3. Only 276 feet, but plays easily over 300 with the uphill. A lot of trees early, so left side is a little bit more open. Backhand turnover over the forehand. The gravel road is out of bounds on the left side, so got to be careful turning it over with the forehand or fading out too much with the backhand. Bradley looks like that was a good line, but maybe just a bit too high. Gets caught up in those last couple trees.
Yeah, that was a really good looking shot. That's what you're looking to try and do is get it turning over to the right side of those trees and starting to come out of it.
Like hitting something a little early left. This looks a little bit lower.
That was really smooth. Oh, hits from right under the basket.
Wow. Little roll away, but still should have a look at it depending on where he was with those trees. Oh,
Yeah,
that
just didn't quite get the turn on it and ended up fading out and going out of bounds on me. Once again, last 3 holes, I'm just not committing to my drives.
was that a little bit of non-commitment, or did it catch some leaves? It looked like it kind of slowed down really quick right in the middle of the flight.
It might have caught a little something, but I think either way, it was still fading out. I didn't get the turn on it like I wanted to.
All right. I tried to give you the easy out. You took the gentleman's route. I appreciate that. So a couple up shots, and now you're straddling between. Yeah, trying to save your par. Oh, and again, third time you've just got off the edge of the cage.
Yeah, I was just feeling slightly off with my putts.
And good putt, obstructed, couldn't even run the same route he putted through, but able to get the birdie for Curtis, so extending his lead.
Yeah, that's a good birdie. I think this is probably one of the tougher holes on the course.
Yep, it was playing as the hardest today at 0.36 strokes over par. Only less than a handful of birdies out of the 39-player field.
Yeah, it's a tough one to get all the way back there to that pin. Here we have hole 15, par 5, 755 feet. This is one of the newer additions to the course as well. You're really trying to navigate these trees and get down to the short pin, set yourself up with another upshot to get around the next corner to get yourself an up and down to a putt. There's a lot of options off the tee pad. The recommended route, I guess, that's cut would be the Hyzer route, but there's also some straighter routes and a little bit of a flex route off the tee pad. So you have some options off the tee.
Yeah, and another beautiful hole. Anytime it seems like you have a wooded, grassy fairway, it just is a great fairway to look at. And this being the par five, there is quite a few throws that you guys will be playing down just to get up to the basket. So great hole, great looking, should play pretty well as well.
Here you can see Bradley trying to go for the straight route. Just got a little high and up into the branches. So he's going to be scrambling to get up around the corner and hopefully save par and maybe give himself a chance for a birdie. Blake's also taking the Hyzer route, getting down and around everything. That's going to be a great shot, looking straight down the second fairway.
You also going the inside route.
Yeah, I wanted a little more flip up on it and ended up pinched off on the inside in the rough.
A lot of stuff, though. Probably pin high the short basket at least. But like you said, that's going to be a tough second shot from the rough there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a scrambling shot. Trying to get myself back in the fairway and back on course. And that's not a bad spot out of Curtis. He's going to be a little left and long, so he's going to be a little pinched off to see the basket, but he should be able to fabricate something from there and be able to get up and down. And, yeah, Blake was right where you want to be. He salted off just a little. He probably wanted to flip up the flat a little more for him. But once again, he should be able to get up and down from there.
Great shot.
Yeah, and from very far into the rough, just a forehand turnover. Probably as best as you could have done from there up to about where some of these guys are having their second drive. And a great shot by Bradley. He is under the pin.
You see Curtis had a little bit of a low ceiling he was dealing with and having to kind of force a hyzer. Came up a little short. He's going to have just outside the circle from there.
And great third shot for you. After being out of position, you are back into it. That's what these shorter par fives, obviously they're under 800 feet for, and Blake almost bring it up, but under 800 feet, you can certainly make up the distance if one of your shots isn't ideal.
For sure. This is another one that was about 60 feet shorter just up until this year. And when we got the new baskets, we pushed it back a little and make it more of a true par five. We lost a couple trees where your drives would land for your second shot. So the corner down there opened up a little bit and definitely needed to do something to make it the par five again. So we moved it back and brought the path into play a little bit long of the basket as well.
Yeah, it definitely plays, like I said, a great hole. And you guys played it better than the average being the second hardest hole. So two of the hardest holes in a row as we move over to hole 16, one of the easier holes on the course, par 3, 282. Pretty much a little bit of a turnover. Got to get over that log, miss a couple of these last couple trees, and you'll be on the green. Thanks again to Disc Insanity for sponsoring our drone footage for this round. Forehand also will work. Got to miss those couple trees there. Oh, and Bradley getting caught up on that last tree right at the base. Otherwise, probably would have skipped right up to the pin.
Yeah, this is another one that feels like a must-get coming down the stretch. It's the last short little hole staring you in the face, so definitely want to pick that one up. And that just came out low for me, but I was lucky enough to get a pretty good skip and get myself in the putting range.
Yeah, that I'll tell you, it looked intentional. If you didn't say anything, people still would have been impressed.
That's in. Oh my God.
And that's that boss out of Curtis again. He's been throwing that thing on the forehand really well.
Curtis seems to throw a few molds and uses them maybe more uniquely than most players. Oh, and a great putt. Getting the birdie here for you.
Yeah, I think Curtis was saying he only throws about 4 molds maybe. and just has a little bit of variation in a couple of the same mold, and just sticks with what works for him. He doesn't feel like he needs anything else, and he knows what his discs do, and he goes out and he uses them.
I mean, you can't complain about the results with a two-stroke lead at the moment. As we move over to hole 17, par 3, 328 feet. Again, getting the backhand turnover with a forehand. Got to get over all these fallen logs. Small ditch you have to miss. Pretty much trying to get over that and then slow down before the green starts sloping away. A couple of trees right by the pin to try to miss if you really want to get it parked.
Yeah, this can be a tough one. If you're not in the fairway and you're short and can't see the pin, it is tough to get up and down for your par.
Yeah, one of the few blind holes, especially par 3s, this short. Can't see the basket from the tee pad.
And I just rolled my wrist over and threw it right into the hill there. So that's going to leave me a tricky upshot, like I said, where you can't really see the pin.
Yeah, unique in that even when you get, like you said, maybe halfway up the fairway, it's still blind because of the hill right near the pin.
Yeah, it's short, but it's gonna putt.
That was some good ground action for Blake there, getting himself up towards the pin. And that I just had up too high.
Ooh,
It just
yeah.
drifted out, and a little roll.
As we said, it slopes down after, so the momentum of this is going to keep carrying if you give just a little bit too much. A little low, a little right.
Not what I was looking for coming down the stretch, knowing that Curtis was parked too.
And that was the keep pace for second place. Actually, now third with Bradley with a 1-stroke over Blake. Like you said, Curtis with a putt to go 10 down. Oh, 1 inch. Similar putt. Good for you to make it. Unfortunately, it was for the bogey. But Curtis having a kind of up and down putting day, albeit still in the lead. So
Yeah, he's definitely playing some good golf. And if he was making those couple of putts he missed, he would almost course record worthy, maybe.
yep, and on to our final hole, par 4, 525. What's the play here?
You're just trying to chip over across the first creek, getting the grassy area you flew over a second ago, and then debate whether you want to attack and try and get over the second creek, or if you're going to lay up short of the second creek and try and get your third up there. So a lot of people just chip a little forehand up around this corner. If you want to get more aggressive as a righty, you can kind of flex a turnover and try and get down towards the second creek a little closer.
Bradley barely staying in bounds. That road is marked as OB. So the spotter giving us the safe signal.
And yeah, that little bunker of trees is a real pain in the neck. If you end up in there, it's hard to even get out to a good layup spot to be able to get up and down for your par.
Little tree kick just barely keeping Curtis out of it, so good luck for him. You giving a little bit more air. It looks like you're really trying to go for this and getting way more distance down the fairway than the other guys.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated after the last couple of holes and wanted to let out a little aggression and try and put some pressure on these guys to finish strong as well.
Possibility of this hole with the eagle bait if you get all the way up to that second creek.
Yeah, you can give it a little run if you get all the way up there and sitting in good position. Wow, Bradley just cleared that bridge rail there and just went a little long.
Yeah, certainly not the preferred route, but so wide he had to go that way. He had no other option.
Blake just finding himself pinched up behind that one perfect tree, and now is kind of scrambling to get across the creek.
Pretty good upshot right through those couple trees on the right side, and you'll have a putt to finish your first round with another birdie.
Yeah, trying to get myself back into striking distance, or keep myself in the striking distance going into the final round.
Little turbo putt from Bradley,
Ooh.
just kind of getting over those bushes. Good putt. Just over the rim. Those couple that were just catching the rim, I think you finally got one in.
Yeah.
18th hole.
Just getting it warmed up for the final round.
That's right. Curtis 10 down through 18 holes. Take a look at a leaderboard. Bradley saying hi to all his fans. Great round by you and the three guys. And Curtis with the hot round, 1030 rated. Bradley just behind him. Thomas Jakowski and Ben Selcraig at the 7 down will be our lead card tomorrow. You missed it by just that one stroke, but you're still, like you said, well within striking distance. Thank you very much, Devin, for joining me. I'm glad I'll have you here for the final round that will be out tomorrow. I hope all of you viewers enjoyed this coverage. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. We have lots of tournaments coming out, and we will see you tomorrow for the finale of the Awesome Open.